appreciate this time with you guys, and I appreciate your patience. I know we were supposed to do this early on. That something called COVID got in the way for me. So appreciate you guys pushing this back, and maybe it's even better for all of us because, you know, we got a game under our belt. And so I appreciate what you guys contribute, right, to our team, to the Colts Nation. You know, it's fun for me to do this every year with you guys. I really want to help in any way. I mean, this is a big deal to me. Every aspect of, you know, the fan base of what we got, and how that fan base is fed information and kept abreast to what we do, and how we're going along. And every piece is really important. So appreciate you guys taking this time with me.
All right, we'll start with Evan.
Hi, Coach. Evan Sider here with the Locked On Colts podcast. Obviously, Michael Strachan has been a big name to follow throughout training camp. 6'5", 225. We saw him make a great play yesterday as well down the field. Just what kind of impact have you seen from Strachan throughout camp? Your first impression of him, and also maybe a potential role during the regular season for him? He's
been showing up in camp every day. That's been the good thing for him. It's not just a flash play here or there. It's happening every day. There's a consistency, and sometimes when you're a young player, you know, that's what you just want to make sure that you don't want to just see flashes. You want to see some consistency. There's been a few mental mistakes here and there. That's normal for a rookie, but physically, there's been good consistency. The other thing is that I think about Mike that's so impressive is that he's not just a good physical talent, but you can tell how smart of a player is. He's a very instinctive route runner. I think those two, and then the game's just not too big for him. So I think those three things bode well for him, you know, niching out a role for himself. I think it's too early to tell what that'll be. We have a good group, but we really like where he's at right now, and expect him to continue to grow and make an impact on our team.
Evan, go ahead and ask your second one.
Yeah, so you mentioned before, Coach Reich, about Sam Ehlinger and the it factor that he has. I know it may be hard to describe. You mentioned that before, but can you just kind of picture what that it factor is that you've noticed throughout the last few months alongside Sam?
Yeah, I mean, he just exudes confidence. I would say one, like when he steps into the huddle, I think, guys, you just know this guy's a natural leader. I think guys think he's going to find a way, just like he did on the last drive of the game, you know, to make a play. I think that's what he's done his whole career. He's a winner. And then, you know, I think the it factor is, you know, as a leader, it's not just about you, it's about the rest of the team. And I think guys sense he's a team first guy. There's very little ego involved. So those are a few of the things that I perceive about his it factor.
Cody.
Hey, Frank, thanks for doing this. Glad you're feeling better. My question, staying with the quarterbacks, obviously there's some uncertainty around Carson Wentz, and will he be ready for week one? Will he not be? But based off of what you saw from both your quarterbacks and Eason and Ehlinger yesterday, what gives you confidence that they'll be able to hold down the fort until Carson does return?
Yeah, no, great question. You know, I've told both of those guys, I said, listen, guys, if Carson doesn't play, the expectations don't change. This team believes in you guys. You're doing well at practice. We need to continue to fight to do well and to have good practices so that our confidence as an offensive unit and as a team can continue to grow. But we're really taking that next man up mentality. And I think the team has sensed that about these guys. I think they feel good about it. And I think the fact that they could both go out there and have a good showing yesterday at the game, I think we were all expecting that. But I think the fact that you go out and do it, I think that sends a message to the team like, hey, we can move the ball. I mean, we had 400 yards of offense, 400 some yards of offense yesterday with those two guys playing quarterback. And so I think that's a good confidence booster.
Lawrence.
Hello, Coach. Pleasure to meet you, and congratulations on your extension. That was well-deserved.
Thank you.
My question is about pass protection, particularly at left tackle, heading, your evaluation now that we've gone through one preseason game and the regular season is just a few weeks away.
Yeah, I mean, we feel like we got really good depth on the offensive line, at tackle. You know, you got Julian Davenport, Sam Tevy, Will Holden, you know, all taking reps at that left tackle spot. It's, you know, it's a heated competition. I think Eric Fisher continues to do well and is on the right road to recovery. We'll continue to move guys around there. We're still, you know, we still got 4 weeks to week 1. So, you know, we're just going to let this thing play out. We think everybody has shown flashes in the ability to be that starter week 1 if Eric's not ready. But I think it's playing out and showing up the way we thought it would. Like, hey, we got some guys that can do it. And if they're called upon and have to start week 1, we believe we'll have a left tackle who will play winning football for us.
Hey guys, please smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time I go live. Don't forget, you can also share this video to your favorite social media, and please open up that description of the video. In there you find a link to my Patreon, which is only $5 a month. Get all of my content plus Patreon specific content, and of course my merch shop right here.
Lawrence, go ahead with your second one too.
So my other question was about the defense. I'm curious your evaluation also of the pass rush that we saw from yesterday's game.
Yeah, I think there was good flashes of the pass rush. I thought the defense played pretty well. I thought we played good run defense. I thought situationally, you know, we played good on third down. Some of that's getting pressure on the passer. You know, they had the one big play on the scramble. You know, we had good pressure. So you want to get more sacks. Obviously, felt like we showed good pressure a couple times, making the quarterback move or hurrying up. It doesn't always show up in sacks. So that even though that number wasn't a big number, you know, I still think there was good pressure at times. And I think, you know, that'll continue to get better as we go.
Matt,
And
go
also,
ahead with you.
Excuse me. And also, Matt, let me just add one more thing for Lawrence there. The other thing, Lawrence, is, you know, we're being pretty vanilla too in what we're calling. You know what I mean? We'll have more things that we call as we get into the season. Every year I have to bite my tongue a little bit because that's just kind of our philosophy. You know, I mean, not that we won't call any blitzes, we'll call some, but we really don't call that many. And we really don't call kind of our crazy stuff in preseason, where other teams do that a little bit more than us in preseason. That's just a philosophy that we have. We want to hold some of that stuff as an element of surprise for the season.
Matt, go ahead.
There you go. Hey, Coach. It's an honor to speak to you today. Obviously, we talked a little about Michael Strachan earlier, but I also wanted to get your thoughts on the other receivers we saw yesterday, like Desmond Patman, Tyler Vaughns, Tyreek Black, and just how confident you are in them and how they played yesterday.
And all those guys that you just mentioned really had big games. I mean, and that's why I have been saying from the start, you know, even in the offseason, how good I feel about this receiver group. And I'm so glad that they had this opportunity. I mean, you can see it in practice, but like last year without any preseason games, you know, it's hard on guys. But so this year with the 3 preseason games, to actually see guys make plays like that when it's really live, it just has it's the weighted average of that impact is just greater. And they all made big plays. And as we mentioned earlier, you know, we're looking for guys to be able to, you know, make the tough contested catch over the middle, but then we're also looking for the guys to make the catches down the field. And all those guys did that yesterday. You know, all those guys that you mentioned did that, made some tough contested catches, made plays down the field. So very competitive room, very tough decisions ahead as far as this roster is concerned, you know, given the wide receivers that we have.
Patrick?
I was hitting the wrong mute button. Sorry about that, Coach.
It's all right.
I wanted to ask about, get your opinion on the taunting penalty in the second half. And, you know, just kind of get your thoughts on it. I think it's a little overboard, but wanted to get it from you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking about it. Excuse me here, my light goes off automatically, so that's why I gotta get the wave out there every now and then.
I thought you were just waving at me. Shoot.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the taunting penalty. I'm glad you asked. I'm kind of glad it got called. I don't know if it was the right call or not, but I'm kind of glad it got called because it's going to be a point of emphasis. And, knowing Benny a little bit, do I think he's a guy who's going to, no, I don't think that he meant it like that. But, as a team, we don't want to taunt anyway. We talk about that. I mean, we want to celebrate, and I want the guys to show some juice and show some enthusiasm when they make a run like Benny made. But we don't need to flaunt anything in anybody's face. I'm glad the NFL has made that a rule emphasis. I do like the ability for our players to celebrate and express themselves a little bit. I do think it makes sense to have some control on that. I don't think there's any room in the game for taunting. It's just not a good part of the game. I withhold my judgment on really what I thought about that, but just to say, I don't mind the fact that they called it just to discourage any form of it, because I just don't think there's any place in the game for it. It's distasteful. It's not a good example to young kids. And you can be a great player and make great plays and celebrate those with your teammates. There's no reason to try to taunt it against another opponent.
Okay, we'll go 3 more, Cody.
Frank, you guys have had, since starting a training camp, you've had some injuries throughout it. How do you feel like your team has responded despite certain players being out, whether it's short-term or more long-term?
Yeah, I think we responded well. We really want to take that next man up mentality. We want to take it as an opportunity to build depth on our team. These guys who are getting the reps are taking advantage of it. We always say it that every year, the guys who are your 2s and 3s, you go 17 games in a season and hopefully some regular season games. At some point, your 2s and 3s are going to be 1s. So for us, even a couple of these injuries happen early to us, it's a good opportunity, number one, for the 1s to heal up so they don't miss as many regular season games, hopefully. But number 2, get the 2s and 3s ready. So when we need them, whether that means week 1 or somewhere in the middle of the season, that we just feel like, hey, we have that much more confidence stepping in. And so that's really the way we look at it. We think it's a great opportunity for players to get better and for us to build our depth.
Evan?
Coach, just want to talk also just off the field today. It was announced that your Not Today Foundation is launching a parent guide aimed at awareness and prevention for sexually abused and exploited and trafficked children. I know it's a huge cause for you off the field as well as your wife, Linda. Can you just explain to our audience just a little bit about the Not Today Foundation and what you're planning to do with that moving forward?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. It's a huge deal for us. We feel like protecting the beauty and innocence of childhood is extremely important. We think it's a travesty that the very people who are supposed to be protecting children would actually abuse them. Statistics show that when a child is sexually abused, that 90% of the time it's from someone they know. So those are the very people who are supposed to be protecting them. So, we're going to do everything we can to fight, to advocate for these children and to protect them. And so we do that on many fronts. We were excited this weekend to launch a big campaign that will culminate at the Super Bowl, forming an alliance with several other organizations being approved by the NFL and the host Super Bowl committee to really have a season-long campaign in this space. And we're really partnering with a lot of great people around the country, but specifically here, we're concentrating our efforts here in the state, in the city of Indianapolis, in the state of Indiana. We really want that to be the blueprint for how we operate nationally, to do it first here at home in our home state. And thankfully, we're making great progress. My wife, Linda, does an amazing job. We have a great team with our foundation. So excited about that and the opportunity. And I also have to say, I'm really thankful for the Irsay family and how they've supported us, because this platform that you have as an NFL coach, you want to use it to give back. And the Irsays have just been so gracious to help us in so many ways along this road.
Go ahead, Matt.
All right. I also wanted to get your thoughts on the cornerback position too. Obviously, we saw Rock and Marvell, Isaiah, and TJ out there. I just wanted to get your thoughts on those guys and what you thought about them and how they performed.
I love all three of those guys. I really think as a secondary, we've gotten better. I think our players have gotten better. I think we've gotten more depth. I feel like those three guys really has been good competition. I think Rock has had a very good camp. TJ is such a good player. He's so versatile, can play corner, can play safety, can play nickel. He's so savvy. So, and Marvell obviously had took the year off, opted out last year, but a very talented young player. So adding a lot to the mix. So we just think that competition will kind of make each of them better and then consequently make our whole secondary better. It's a very important piece because we feel like defensively up front, we have really good depth. We feel like we are going to get good pressure on the passer. And so we want to be able to take advantage of that with great secondary play as well.
Okay, and last one here, Patrick.
Okay, got the right mute button this time, Coach. The follow-up question on the Not Today Foundation, what is it we can do to help you guys? And anything you need, and I ain't going to speak for everybody, but I probably am. Whatever you guys need, we are happy to help with this.
Well, we appreciate that. And I will mention, since you asked, one of the things that was mentioned earlier was this child protection guide we have. We're just trying to get it out in as many people's hands as we can. And what it is something that, my wife and the team have put together. It's a booklet. It can be downloaded from our website, from nottoday.org. So it can be downloaded. We have physical copies as well. And really it's given to caretakers, to what to look for, to educate caretakers on what to look for. What are the signs in a child that you look for? What are the things from predators that you could look for? Not to live your life in fear. We're not talking about that, but we just want to educate and better equip caretakers to know the obvious signs and to be on the lookout for those obvious signs. When a child starts acting up, how do you dive into that? How do you talk to a child about these things? Those are some of the things that are in this caretaker guide. And so we want to get that in as many hands as we can. And like I said, it's obviously free of charge. It's on our website and can be downloaded right from there.
All right. Well, I can promise you this. It's going to be on all of D-Line's socials and our websites, Coach.
Wow.
And extremely proud to have you here in the city making that effort.
Yeah, I can't tell you what that means to me. More than you know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys, we'll make sure to get another availability scheduled here soon with you guys, and I hope you all have a great week.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.